In this episode,
you think you have opposing skills that are complementary is why you don't want to team up with Blake right now.
There's certain things that, and just no offense.
What's coming? What is coming?
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Welcome to the Subject Free Podcast. The unfiltered real estate podcast where four agents share real life stories from their careers in the crazy world of real estate. Now welcome Alan, Viv, Matt, and Adam.
Wasn't that beautiful?
That was the nicest intro I think we've ever had.
Right? I mean, with the two prettiest people in probably all of BC.
Well, welcome to the Subject Free Podcast. Yay! I'm Adam. This is Alan. We have two very special guests with us today.
Very handsome guests and beautiful guests.
Very beautiful and handsome. We've got Blake and Courtney from Real Broker here with us today. And before we go on, we obviously are sponsored by Legacy Brew, as you can see here. But we have a new sponsor.
Brand new sponsor, everybody.
Which I've got to get my notes on because normally we don't have notes for this.
Amateur.
I know, but I want to make sure I get this right because I'm super excited about who we've got here. We've got Ed Guest, who is with Snapview, and he is our new sponsor. Yes. So let's dive in. Actually, I'm going to go a little bit off script. What do you like the most about Snapview? Snapview is, for people that don't know, it's a software for realtors to help manage, run their business. And you kind of tell me what you think you like about their software, and I'll kind of go into what I think is great.
Yeah, so I like that I can customize my QR codes because I like pink.
Yeah, okay. All right.
No, I like the fact that you can actually scan it from anywhere you are, whether it be your open house sign, whether it be your for sale sign, it actually geocodes it and sends you to the nearest listing of yours.
Yeah.
So that's smart. And then after it, takes down all the data, and then after you get a piece of this data, you get to know who's scanning and where, or not who's scanning, but when it was scanned. And then after that can be added fuel to the fire to give to your clients.
Yeah, I love it. And they also have a digital buyer's tour. So let me explain this. Normally with realtors, what you have is you print off a bunch of feature sheets and you kind of put them in a folder, and then you go off with your clients and you give them the feature sheet when you go into the listing. Well, this is all digital so that you can plan it. The client can see the feature sheets and way more information than what is on the feature sheet, so that when you go and you send them the tour, they have all the information that they want: schools, restaurants, the closest coffee shops, all the things that you kind of want in a neighborhood. You're going to have that at your disposal. So if they're like, hey, what's the catchment of this property? You're going to have that at your disposal.
See, Adam is actually a salesman to these two.
Sold already. This is basically what we brought you here for
exactly.
today.
That's it. Cut. We're done.
We got more coming in. That's where I'm in. So we're super happy. We've got a promo code for you too.
SFP.
SFP, Subject Free Podcast, SFP.
And that gets you 30% off.
30% off. So thanks so much for Snapview. We're super excited to have you.
And of course, Legacy.
And of course,
these two beautiful.
And of course,
Ken and Barbie of real
yes,
estate.
Yes. So we have them on the podcast. They're obviously colleagues of ours at the brokerage.
Yeah.
And so we've known them for a while. Courtney just came over to Real about 3 months ago?
Yeah, end of June, end of January.
End of January,
Yeah.
and Blake's been with us from the beginning, and we've kind of watched them as a couple grow in their real estate journey, blossom in their real estate
They have
journey.
blossomed, and like Blake has always been a shining star.
Yes, and so now he's brought in his lovely partner,
So I want to
Courtney.
know about that. You were on a family team with your brother.
Yes.
So when that news came about, how did he take it?
Oh, how did he take me dating Blake?
Sure, let's do that. You dating Blake because that's a better question.
do you mean?
Mine was about the leaving, but no, I want to hear. This is the real stuff. Okay.
My brothers are not, so I have two older brothers.
okay.
They're not like the protective kind. They're like, oh, kick his ass. No. They're just like, who are you dating? Oh, cool. Like, they just don't care. But I think because we're all just sort of, we all know each other as realtors. You all add each other on Instagram. And so you kind of know people.
Yeah.
You don't. And he's like, oh, Blake Chancey, King of Ladner. I was like,
King of Ladner. Oh, wow.
yeah. So I brought him into my crazy life and family dinners. And
Wow.
They were great. They accepted me pretty well in there.
Yeah, they're good with him. So to answer the question, didn't really phase him. He was just kind of like, oh, Ladner.
Yeah.
I was living in Ladner is what he
Was it like
calls
not
him.
another realtor? Like, oh my gosh, we got to now introduce another realtor into the family?
Yeah, basically. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, now we have competition out in South Delta. Or he thought of like, oh, we could just be a giant team and cover all the areas.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what was it like when you told them that you were leaving their team?
So we've been like a team for a few years now, and the last year was kind of just, I think, with the market shifting a little bit, we weren't really feeling united, I guess. So it was kind of coming. And then I just realized first week of January, I'm like, I need to just do my own thing and light a fire at my ass. Otherwise, I'm just going to be stagnant.
Yeah.
So I told him, and I just said, look, I'm going to switch to Real. This way, since I'm out in South Delta with Blake, I can help him with opens. And, at some point, maybe we'll team up. But I think it was just the best decision for me just to leave the team. I think it was easier for Matthew, too, because we would butt heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, family, and that's what we're going to kind of talk about today, and not necessarily family as much, but a couple being in real estate and how that works. Because we've all been in relationships. My partner was in real estate before, and now she's but she's still an entrepreneur. Alan has his own story, which I'm sure we'll spend 45 minutes talking about. And then we've got you guys as well, too. So, so how is that? Let's just kind of dive into the day-to-day. You guys live together, but you're not a team together in terms of the formal, BCFSA, you're the team. So how is that day-to-day, you can talk the same language, but it also can get a little bit tiring to always talk real estate. How do you manage that on a day-to-day basis?
There's a lot of discussions about real estate. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But it's great having a partner that understands the business as well. So they understand the nuances and the stress and the pressure that goes along with, there's good and there's bad in this business. So I think it's amazing. We're both able to understand each other's schedules, know that when we have to work, we have to work.
Yeah.
And we try to have our time together. That's important to us too. Like we start every day with a walk. With our
Those early
dogs.
5, 6 a.m. walks. I love those.
Yeah.
For the doggies? Oh,
Yeah.
You're speaking my language now.
Yeah, for sure. All about the dog life. But yeah, it's interesting dynamic, but I think it's great to have a partner that understands entrepreneurship and then specifically the real estate industry as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's the toughest part when you get into any dynamic, right? It's because, I lived it, right? So, if you're working or with somebody who's a 9 to 5 and you're an entrepreneur, by 5 p.m. they want your computer off.
Yeah.
They want you to stop taking calls. It's like, I can't, or you're not going to get this trip.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, right? So when you have someone who understands it and gets it, I think that's the way to go for people like us.
Yeah.
Because otherwise that other side just doesn't get it.
Yeah.
And it's sad. It's sad, right?
Yeah, and so, but there's a flip side to that too, which is nobody's off, right? You guys, as a realtor, you're always on, whether you want to be or not. Evenings and weekends are kind of when the go time is. So there is nobody saying, hey, let's shut it off? Or is there? Do you guys try to make that a habit? Yeah, you're looking at it.
Yeah.
No, I'd never shut it off.
Not at all.
Honestly, not really.
So us being in the same industry is a blessing and a curse, I say a lot. Blessing because we understand what we're talking about. I often will ask him for advice because he's got a couple of years on me with experience, so I trust what he has to say. Same with like his family. His mom and dad have been in the business for many years. But yeah, we don't have like a shut off. So if he's been really busy and maybe my business is kind of like dragging a little bit, I'm kind of like, well, let's go out. You want to go out or like go for a dinner once and go on a date. But it kind of consumes us. Like we talk real estate all the time. So sometimes I'm like, do we talk about anything else? Like we need to work on that.
Yeah.
Honestly, we talk about real estate 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Like we're lucky. We love interior design, architecture, and homes. And like there's no better feeling than when you actually bring a transaction across a line. Like there's so much energy there with your buyers and sellers. So it's a special thing. But it's nearly all consuming.
But I mean, like when it's time to turn it off, like say you have to turn it off to talk about something else, something serious maybe. Like it's easy for you guys to do that, right?
For the most part, yeah. But we're both understanding. Like if he's in the middle of something, he's like, I need to be out. And I'm like, okay, like let me know when you're free and like let's put our phones away.
That's what my relationship was.
Yeah. Because we both get it. Like you're in the same industry, you get it. Because if I'm trying to deal with something and we're both empaths, so we get super stressed and super emotional. So
do you have any sisters that are single?
No, I'm
This is the second reason why we want you.
Exactly.
No, we get super into what we're doing, and I really try to separate my emotion, but it's so hard for us.
Yeah,
and so I also take in what he's feeling. So if he's super stressed, then I take that on, and vice versa. So yeah.
Well, you have each other, which is great, right? Yeah. I mean, you both understand the business. You're both in it, right? So, I mean, it's going to be hard when you have someone who's not in that industry to understand because it's 24/7 for us. It's like literally, if you don't pick up the phone for this client, they could go to 14,000 other realtors, and then it's gone, right? You could have been working with that client for like 6 months, 6 years.
Yeah.
And they could be gone like that.
So did you, not to get into your, share as much as you want, but I mean, did you find that was always a challenge for you because your ex-spouse worked 9 to 5 and did, kind of a regular, job, 9 to 5 job. That was always a challenge for you guys. Did that come up butt heads a lot, or was that just something that was underlying?
Not at first. Yeah. And I'm just like, I'm looking down at the Snapview and Blake's crotch is right there. But
There we go.
And not at first, and I guess that was like the honeymoon stage, right?
Yeah.
So she's like, "Oh, you work so hard. I love that about you." And then as time went on, it's like, "No, you got to get off your phone. No, I got to go to sleep." It's like I'm like, "But I'm doing this deal. It's midnight, sure, but it's like whatever time in Hawaii or whatever, right?"
Yeah.
So that sort of became a point of contention.
Yeah.
Till eventually, I was working so much, trying to do all these things for us, that she would go out, and that was her only way to actually have companionship because I was always working. It's not just real estate. I'm doing the podcast. I'm doing these videos. I'm doing scripts. I'm doing this. I'm rescuing dogs. And so it's like, it just was all consuming to the point where I neglected her, and that's my bad. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because we all know in this business, there's like the business of it, which is like, the negotiating and the tours and kind of like the working in the business stuff. And then there's the working on the business, which is like, a whole other thing, which is the marketing. How am I going to find the next client? All that stuff, which nobody's putting a gun to your head and saying, you have to do this right now. But you do feel the internal pressure of, I need to be doing more to bring in more through the door. Yeah. And so how do you, as a couple, and you're 9 to 5, how do you differentiate the times where you like really need to be doing this? This is, even though there's nothing that's pressing you to do it, and maybe this can wait because as much as I need to do a reel right now, do I really need to do a reel right now? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I go, and I'm asking because I have no idea.
I'm really good at procrastinating, so I can do that. But it's like procrastination. I'm like, is it really going to get me anything right now? Probably not. So I'll just put it to this. Like, I don't know. I'm not great with that. I'm still working on it. Yeah.
I think we always want more and to be better and to do more. And it's always hard to work on the business and not be stuck in the business. I think we are pretty good at shutting down like later in the evenings. Like we usually have dinner together most nights. Sometimes it's in front of the TV just to like zombie out and just not think about anything. But like last night, the night before, we like consciously turned the TV off, just sat, hung out, ate dinner side by side for a while just to discuss what life is coming our way. Like we're moving in a week, so that's a big transition for us. Super stressful. Our house is a disaster. Courtney's been crushing it with getting the place ready to move. I'm pretty busy with a lot of listings and buyers right now, so it's a interesting time.
Yeah. And that's a great side of the business is that there's nobody like saying you have to be at the office if you guys need to take some time off. But you know, but then the business pulls at you at times where you just have no other.
You have no choice.
You have no choice,
right?
You can't say somebody, you know what, I'm in the middle of a move right now, so if you want to write that offer next week, that would be really great for me.
For sure. You can't say no to a client when they're ready to write an offer or you're in negotiations. Like you do have to be there for them. And I feel like that's a part of our fiduciary duty, working in our client's best interest.
So go through kind of a day in the life. Like, do you guys have a set schedule that you do things? Because I know I know you a little bit more in terms of being regimented and having like, you know, and I see you guys, your social media, you know, you do your walks, as Alan said. Like, is there like how do you schedule in an unscheduled business?
That's a great question. I mean, there's two non-negotiables for me every day, and that's taking the dogs out for a walk and going to the gym. And that sets my foundation for the day. Like the gym is my anchor. I do it every day just because it's good for the mindset and accountability. If I can go do something hard to start my day, then the rest of the day is going to be a little bit easier, right? After that, it's a crapshoot. Who knows what we're going to be up to, right? Like realistically, you could be super busy with buyers, sellers, or whatever, or you're twiddling your thumbs and wondering, be like, oh, another realtor posted 5 reels in the last week. I got to catch up to them and do this and that, right? So,
but it's one of those things you have to learn to time block and know that these time blocked items have to be, if they're time blocked, these are the must do's, and the other things are all interchangeable, right? Because you never know what the fuck's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, you could have a day where you think you're going to do X, Y, Z, and then somebody calls and says, I saw something last night and I'd like to write an offer or go see it right now, right? And that whole day is blown. And that's the problem with being in a relationship in the same business, is because then it's, you know, and I'll juxtapose it to you because you're a good example, you know, is, well, there's at least one person that has a dependable schedule there that you kind of know-ish what they're going to be doing. And there's one person that's a complete, well, if you have two people that are completely wild in their scheduling, it really does make it tough. So do you guys set up like date nights, or do you make that a priority where like, hey, we haven't really gone out for dinner in 3 weeks. Maybe we should do that next week. Is that something you consciously think of?
Yeah, we're pretty good at kind of planning something, even if it's like with friends or us going to dinner either for like a special occasion or just because we want to try a new restaurant or something like that. We're pretty good at putting that in the schedule because it's just like an evening where, okay, if I have to quickly pick up my phone and answer a text to a client, it's fine. But usually if, you know, he's got showings right before and he's like, they might want to write.
But it's you understanding that.
Then it's like, then it's like, I'll drive, you bring your laptop, prep the offer type of thing.
Because like in a situation where me and my ex, where it was like, you know, I'd bring the phone out during dinner and I'd get like scolded or like I'd get the side eye. And then it's like one of those things where, okay, like the marketing stuff that we're talking about, you don't have to do it right now, but it's like you're your own CEO, your own CFO, you're your own everything.
Janitor.
Exactly. But they don't get that aspect of the business. So when they turn off at 5, they're like, well, no, like, my job's hard too. But I'm like, you have really one thing to do.
Yeah.
And I don't discount what you're doing. It is very difficult. But I have to wear like 15 hats in this business. Yeah. Right?
So, I mean, to get a little bit personal, you obviously had a divorce because we've talked about that before. But do you think that was a major driver? And why, at the beginning, it was, hey, I'm happy, I'm thrilled. You work so much. You're doing great. Like, I'm so proud of you. Well, how did it turn to, you know, you're robbing me of my time and I'm not getting us time anymore? How did that happen?
Yeah, I think it's just the not being there, not being present, right? Because I was always busy with work. I mean, like, I almost died in a hospital bed 2 years ago, and I did 3 deals out of my hospital bed, right? So it's like I was just working nonstop. And there was just no way out. And I was doing this for us, for our future. I was building our future. I wanted us to retire early. So I knew I had to work now. Die at any time, right? So I was trying to build as much as I could. And I always would tell her, hey, go represent us. Go out with our friends, our mutual friends. Do this. And I'll hang back and work.
Right.
But eventually it became so contentious to the point where it's like, you know what, you're never here, I feel alone, and it's like, you know what, I can't do this anymore.
So next relationship, when you're ready to get into that, what do you think you're going to, because you can only control what you do, you can't control what she does. What do you think, how do you think you're going to manage that?
I don't know.
Because the business isn't going it's not changing. Your business is still the same business. You've looked at other ways of maybe doing the business that you and I have talked about.
Yeah.
But essentially, right now, if you were to get in the relationship within the next year, you would still be doing the same things.
Well, this is what I think of. I could have worked half as hard, kept half my shit, and had my wife still.
Yeah.
And I would choose that any other day.
Yeah.
Because I love my wife.
Yeah.
My ex-wife or whatever.
Yeah.
But I fucked up.
Yeah.
Right? I looked for the future to build the future when I wasn't taking care of the present.
Yeah. So. Yeah. It's conscious, right? I mean, and even myself, I'm not with a realtor, but I'm with an entrepreneur that can be working at any time, and we have a son together. I mean, there is moments where you just have to park it, I think negotiations. Anytime you're in negotiations, that's different, right? Because that is really like that's present. But outside of that, I think we always get a little bit anxious about we have to be doing this because our business relies on us. It relies on us, period, right? Yeah. But if you want to have a personal life too, which you guys obviously want and have, you have to figure out a way to do both. Yeah. And it's conscious. It's not like, you do this, I do this. It's coming together. We Sonny and I went up to Whistler this weekekend, and we don't.
Why you didn't answer your phone?
One of the reasons. Yeah. Good job. But that's literally that is kind of it. Like I've had to learn to just go, is this something that I really need to do right now, or is like after 8 o'clock? I've learned to just kind of, unless it's really urgent, I've just learned to shut it down. That can be done tomorrow morning at 6 when I wake up. For sure. That's not a thing that I need, especially if I'm engaged in a conversation with Sonny. And we there was no Netflix. We put him to bed early, and it was like from, we talked from 8 until midnight. The first night that we were up there. That's a rare.
You were up till midnight?
I was up until midnight. Wow. That's my point. I mean, but we had a great conversation for 3 hours, which we never have. And I know that she needs that stuff, and I do too, to really further the relationship and feel connected. And if we don't do those, it's like a plant. You don't water it, it dies. And so, but it's tough. It is tough to be like, and I used to be on the phone with my clients until like midnight hearing about their divorces or their problems with selling a home or whatever that may be, and thinking I need to be there for that person because that's my job. It really isn't my job.
No.
You're not our client's counselor.
We're not. And we can help, we can listen, we can be empathetic. Yeah. But we're not there to be, the therapist to our clients, because that is not our job. But it's hard for us. Like, do you think you guys have learned that, and how do you manage that, or do you think you're still struggling with like trying to be there all the time for them?
Definitely learning more and more as I go. Like, the more present we are when we go out on our date nights, if we put the phone away in our pocket, not even on the table, put it in your pocket, put it away so we don't see it, and we're more engaged, and it just feels like we're there together and connected. And people are always hyping up, multitask. I feel like you're better focusing on one thing at a time, getting that done, whether it's your date night or for a client. Focus on one task at a time and really give that all your attention, and the outcome's alwa's going to be better.
Yeah. And I think it's about setting those boundaries, right? Like,
like have business hours. Basically, after 8 or 9, if I'm not in the middle of negotiating, we both say this, if we're not in negotiations with a client with an offer, if it's past 9, like, phone's off. Like, they say there's no emergencies in real estate. Sometimes there is, but you're nothing, you don't. If they respect you enough as like a person, they should understand that you're not going to be sitting there at 10:30 at night. You have a life. Yeah. So especially if you let your clients know, like, hey, I never go away. I'm going to go away for the weekend. Like, if there's anything pressing, you know how to reach me. And usually they're like, that's great. You work too hard. Yeah. Go enjoy. And then there's some that are super demanding, but like just manage that.
But do you find yourself when you go on vacation, you're still working though, right?
It's the curse of real estate. Yeah. You plan a vacation and things get busy.
Yeah.
That is literally the curse of real
It's the
estate. It
curse.
always happens. You're at the airport,
Yeah.
or you're getting ready to pack the vehicle, and then you're always your busiest.
someone comes
I
out of the
still
woodworks.
find you really need to find a way to just not answer everything immediately as well.
Yeah.
You know, most things can wait an hour
Yeah.
or 2 hours and then get to work on that. But yeah, I think time blocking, personal time for yourself and your relationship and your life or your friends is super important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you? I mean, you had a challenge with that on vacations. I know that was.
Oh yeah,
something
all the
we
time.
talked
Like
about.
I would spend most of like probably a good 50% of the time in a hotel room.
Right.
While my wife would be out and doing her thing, and usually like a lot of the vacations we went on, especially the latest ones, it was clients of mine. Because I become really good friends with my clients, so I go to their weddings, I go to all these things, and
Right.
it's like I'm like, oh, you're gonna have to do this. I have to do this offer. I got to do this.
Right.
I got to do that. And I know, like after looking back at it and like looking at videos, I'm like, she hated that. She hated
that's
that,
tough.
and that was my fault. But I'm like, I wasn't present. ADHD stuff too, right? I'm just like, I need to do this. I need to do this. This is gonna pay for this.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking. I wasn't being present. That's my fault.
And that's where like a team can help, which has its own like challenges. So have you
Oh,
guys
God,
ever
yeah.
thought about teaming up and like becoming, one unit per se?
The actual Ken and Barbie of real estate.
That should be the marketing name.
We just need a couple of wigs and then we'll be good to go.
I mean, my gosh, I think we're onto something
wig.
here.
You're good the way you are. Come on, you're perfect. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll answer this first, and
Sure,
then
yeah.
you can go. So people always ask, like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you guys get team up? You can team up? Oh, you team up with Blake?" Like I worked with my brother for a few years and love him. He's great. We're siblings though. We butt heads, and he's very different with how he does business, and I'm very different. So that's kind of how we worked well together because we kind of covered the bases that the other person didn't cover. But yeah, quite often we'd be pissed off about something. Oh, he's like, "Oh, did you call this person or did you do that?" Or I'd ask him, "Oh, did you get that done? Or why aren't we having a team meeting this week?" So it was a lot of holding each other accountable and then getting pissed off with each other.
Gotcha.
So working with Blake, I'm afraid of creating that dynamic of being more. I don't want to have reasons with work to be fighting. To be fighting with you. So
Yeah,
I just
for sure. Any unnecessary stress in between us, right?
yeah, and it's hard enough. Like with our businesses, we talk about like the stresses we're dealing with. Obviously, keeping things still confidential, but we'll explain like a scenario we're dealing with, and then we both get so into it, like, "Oh, what? Like that sucks.
Yeah.
I can't believe they're doing that."
Yeah.
And
Okay, but on the flip side of that, I mean,
Yeah.
wouldn't it be nice to, know that there's someone there that could alleviate some stress every now and then, and just like already kind of knows like your, the way that you operate, each of you, right?
sure, but then if we both want to go on holidays, then we're like, "Oh shit." Because
Yeah.
we're together and
then
we're
that's
our
tough.
entire team is picking up and leaving, and
Yeah.
no one's on the ground. So I just feel like we could maybe lean on our real broker colleagues.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's where I think you.
I mean,
you
there's
can.
lots of. I mean, but you get to people like me who I don't trust anybody.
I know.
Yeah.
Same.
Right? It's like I just
tough.
don't trust anyone doing this. I'm like, okay, I'll walk you through the property. You have to sell it like this because this is rare, and and they don't do it, and you're like, what the hell are you doing here?
Yeah.
Right?
That's also the A types of real estate
Yeah.
too, right? Where it's like, no, like this is the way to do it. This is how I've been successful. And so it's done this way. I don't want to hear another way of doing it. So Blake, you haven't answered the question. I'm sure you guys have talked about having a, team. What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's great for Courtney to do things on her own for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like when she left her team, there was a literal fire up her ass, and she was getting X, Y, and Z done. She had a few things that are high priorities on her list, and she just started putting her head down, going to work, and getting those done very quickly. I think it's important for every realtor to experience being a solo agent for a time because you are your whole business. You're the only person that you can rely on, and you have to take care from everything A to Z. So I think that's super important for every realtor to experience
Definitely.
at a certain time.
Yeah.
Could we join forces in the future? Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's great having her. She can do open houses for me. She can open up doors for me now that we're at the same brokerage.
Yeah.
And she's super professional. She's obviously beautiful.
Yeah.
So she handles showings very well.
Oh, Blake. He's so
Brownie
dreamy.
points.
But you're like, I think, in my opinion, and I'm a solo agent. You're a solo agent, and I've flirted with, forming a team for a while. But really, like, I talk to team leads, and it seems like a lot more headache than it's actually worth. And if I was in business, and frankly, I was in business for a very short time with my spouse, that was not even ever on the table because of the reasons that you guys just talked about. I think that there's like you can still kind of have your cake and eat it too, especially being at the same brokerage now. It's can you do this open house for me? Can you do like you guys can help each other and fill in the gaps. But the minute you form that team, then it's then you're talking about splits, then you're talking about who's doing what, talking about are we sharing expenses, which you kind of are anyway in the same household, but not really. Like who does this fall on? Well, I feel like I'm doing more in this like the same things that you
100%.
had, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, why are we? And you could share an assistant right now if you wanted to. Like, there's no reason why you can't just share a transaction coordinator or whoever. So, like, why? Other than to have the brand and and I think a lot of the times with team leads, not all, but a lot of the times it's an ego play, right? It's I've got the XYZ team and we've got 12 agents on it and we're doing this and we sold 100 million last year and then you break it down and you're like, well, everybody then if on your team, if you sold 100 million, sold one home a year last year. So
exactly.
not exactly the flex that you think it is, but but I don't know why you kind of would. Maybe there's an argument for it that I'm not getting. But
yeah, I mean, that would be a question for like a husband and wife team. Like some people love it; it's great and it works for them because they kind of know their roles. One of them's like the client-facing one, and one of them likes to stay back. Like I heard this team, the wife is the client-facing one, and then the husband likes to stay back and do like the paperwork stuff.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, you look at someone like the team of Amy and Allie and them, right? Like. Amy does a lot of the marketing. Yeah. Right? And she's like, I remember I sat down with her once and she's like, you know what? I don't meet the clients. I do the marketing. And I'm like, that's kind of brilliant.
No, interesting.
Right? So she gets a lot of that stuff done and then like other people do other tasks, but it makes sense. They do so well, right?
Yeah. I think you would have to oversimplify the business. You would have to go through every single little task that you need to do in this job and have clearly defined roles. Yeah. Because otherwise, I think things just get too mixed up, and there's a lot of ways you can miss little tasks that you would do on your own if you're just running it yourself as well, right?
Well, I mean, you're speaking of your parents were realtors and they were a team. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? So I mean, still are.
Yeah.
So I mean, you've seen it on.
So it can work.
So it can work.
Whoa.
But why? So why do you, without getting into your parents, why do you think that they seem to work and be able to form a team and be successful with it?
That's a great question. I mean, when we were growing up, it was very much so my dad doing all the client-facing stuff, and then my mom would do some administrative. Yeah. And then after, my brother and I finished up all of our sports and went to college, then my mom really got into the business and then got her license. So it was a very slow transition. My mom was, doing a lot of the media and back-end stuff for a very long time and then got to the client-facing stuff. So... yeah, they found balance in it somehow.
So is your mom now more client-facing than she was?
Yeah.
So that was an evolution.
That was an evolution over a long time because the great thing about this business was my parents were always there at all of our sports games.
Right.
They would have, their briefcase phone, their pager, whatever else, phone in our
fax machine. Right?
Yeah, literally everything that they could to make sure that they could hang out with us as much as they could. Yeah. And then, once we were done with playing all of our sports and being kids, then my mom got... her license and really step forward into the client-focused stuff. Yeah.
See, that's when it becomes a positive, right? So I'm not saying this is going to happen for you guys, but I'm just saying if kids come into the picture in the future, you can alleviate, right? Divide and conquer.
So, but do you guys think that you have, similar to you and your brother, do you think you have opposing skills that are complementary? And you did with your brother, but there is still, as it is in any business, why you don't want to team up with Blake right now. Do you think that would be an issue that maybe you just still would stay away from? I know I'm asking you questions that maybe you guys have already talked about, or maybe not, but it's good to know.
We're just bombarding you guys. We really want the Ken and Barbie team. Jesus.
Do you want to answer? Great questions. No, you go ahead.
There's certain things that. And just no offense.
What's coming? What is coming?
Let's hear it.
I'm not going to go into specifics.
No.
But there's certain things that he wants to try to implement, certain things that I've done in my business, and then he'll start it and then stop it, and I just kind of like you're going to do it that way?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like, I don't quite agree with it. And then I'm like, it's his business. Don't give him unsolicited advice because I love to do that.
Yeah, she does.
I do. But it's just hard because I bite my tongue a lot, but then it's like, no, like, you also have your like weaknesses as well that he has strengths for. So I don't know. It's just tough because there's certain things I'm just so particular. It's like OCD, ADHD. I'm just so particular in certain things that I don't want to have it create annoyances when we are working together where we can't make up our minds on something and be like, okay, we're gonna do it this way. We're gonna do it this way. You're gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Like, it's just, I don't know. I'm afraid to even dabble in
I
that.
get it. I'd be the same way because, and let's face it, right now it's probably working. Like you being separated in your businesses are, you guys can you can let off the gas if he's not doing things that you think he should be doing because it's his business. You know, it's not our business; it's his business. Yeah. So it makes it releases the pressure of having to be like, well, that affects me now because this is the team and we're like doing things together. Yeah. Does that make sense?
100%. Yeah.
And I think there's a million different ways to be successful in real estate and really just double down on what's worked well for you in the past, right? Yeah. So I was trying to implement a couple of things on a regular basis and it was great for a bit and then I stopped doing them and then I almost feel like guilt for not doing those things now. But that's not what got me my business in the first place anyways and continues it on. It was just an added bonus. Yeah. And do I want to implement it again? Yes, but that's probably not a task that I should even be taking on at this point in my career as well.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, everybody thinks sometimes the grass is greener on the other side, and sometimes it's like if it's working, why fix it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But there's obviously that natural gravitation. I think if you're working with somebody to form the team, to be the thing, to have that, and especially your family's big in the Delta area and has that kind of last name appeal. So to have that out there is and connected with all of you is a good thing, right? It's a good thing, but the day to day is another issue. So
yeah, I think it goes back to it would be like clearly defined roles, and she's like so good with marketing and like you saw the reel at the start of this. She's super creative, and I love that. And I would love for her to just take over that for me, so I can spend times on other things that I want to do. Yeah, we'll see what the future brings.
I think that's smart. That's smart. I mean, eventually that's what I want to do. Just back off and do just marketing. Because I have so much fun with marketing. I just love doing all that stuff, right? Yeah. So, I mean, eventually that's how I see my business going and having someone else on the forefront. I mean, I love meeting up with clients. I love doing all that stuff. I love all that. But do I have to be at their beck and call at all hours of the day?
Yeah. No. So let me ask you then, let's put yourself into their position. Yeah. If you met somebody through real estate and she was a realtor, I mean, knowing what you know now, you've had it the other way where it's 9 to 5, but I think you also know yourself and how you like to do things and how, let's face it, nobody's going to do things the way you're going to do. Even if you teach them, if you tell them, they're going to do their own thing. I mean, you guys can probably relate to that. I see smirks on both of your faces, so I'm sure that's the case. So, do you think that you would like to be with somebody that is a realtor and maybe even team, or is that doesn't appeal to you either?
I think an entrepreneur would be great. An entrepreneur, someone who gets when it's time to work, when it's time to get down to business, and you can have your time together, but just know that these things can, be taken over by what's needed of the business. Yeah. I would like to do something like a side business with someone too, something you could do fun together on the side and potentially make money off of, especially do with socials. That'd be great.
Yeah. More of like a passion project that gives you energy.
Exactly, because I think we all need to lean into our passions. Because as much as we all love real estate, and you have to love real estate, you have to love the business. Man, it could suck. Yeah. It could really suck. Yeah. So you have to have these things that you enjoy about the aspects of the business, right? And then that keeps you fuel to keep going some more. And when your clients see that too. When your clients see that, they see that you're having a good time, they see that you're competent, you're good. They will gravitate to that, which I love.
Absolutely.
Right?
Totally. Yeah. Speaking of socials, you guys are quite involved with social media. That's part of the marketing of your business that I think you guys both kind of gravitate towards. Is there any internal discussions at home about, how much do we post? What do we post? Does she get authority when you're going to post her? And she's like, let me see this first before that goes on the internet.
Always.
Is that? Yeah. I say that as I know the answer to that question.
That's accountability right there.
Well, yeah. So you guys talk about the social media and what you put out there to the world, because you kind of both represent each other in a lot of respects, especially because your businesses are the same.
No, not really. Like I think we share stuff just naturally between us before we post.
Yeah.
And we just like each other's opinion because like I love and trust her eye on anything visual. So I always ask for her opinion. And whether like sometimes I'll go a different route.
Yeah.
But I think we're always looking at each other like, hey, can you give me some feedback on this? Any changes I can make? And then go from there.
No, and that's great. That's great. I mean, you need that, right? Because I mean, when you're so involved in your own stuff, sometimes you have so many blind spots, right?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
You don't recognize like,
Having
this
extra
is
set of
really
eyes is
dumb.
really good.
I shouldn't be doing this. But I mean, the one with you by the fireplace.
He's like my little puppet. Like sometimes
Literally, that's what I was.
Was that
on
your
day.
idea?
Oh,
The fireplace
100%.
one? Oh, I love that
It
one.
was a vacant house, so we're all just sitting, hiding around the corner from the videographer. We're hanging out over there, and like I'm just literally sitting on the fireplace. And then she's like, "Can you lay down?"
And then I had that song.
Yeah, because I was like, I saw that on my.
I was like, this is.
Like, I'm getting hot here.
The most comments were from this guy.
There were.
Well, and I knew I'm like, oh, Alan's gonna eat this.
That's
why we love this. But yeah, we talk about like ideas. We bounce creative ideas off each other. Like, oh, should we do this? Should we do that? So
I try to bring on all the listing shoots now. She's super creative. I'm focused on kind of what to say, but then she can add her twist. To
And
it
that's great.
give me
That's
direction
awesome.
there.
I mean, you guys know how much I love doing these things, right? So it's so much fun when you can add that sort of passion into it. Like, especially if you're the one like.
trying sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I had like a really.
He's like your
bad
actual
idea
Ken doll
recently.
that you're playing with in the video. Oh, I love that. I love that.
Perfect.
We need to brand that.
Yeah, it all goes back to that. I
Right?
think. But what about privacy-wise? Do you guys ever like, kibosh, like maybe don't put that out there, or is there any of that?
Sometimes, I don't know about private. More just like, is this professional? Like, should I post this? Like, what do you? I run out everything by you usually, and I'm like, is this dumb? Because I'm so critical.
Yeah.
And then especially if I'm doing just a video, like an info video of myself talking, and I run it by him, and I'm like, do I sound okay? But
yes, always.
Yeah.
Like literally, we're over self-critical sometimes.
Yeah.
for sure.
And I think we all are to some point,
Yeah.
right? But I mean, I think we just have to trust ourselves. I mean, we've gotten this far in the business for a reason.
and they just say post it, just post it.
Just post it, right? I mean,
Quantity over quality.
yeah, we know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like we're going to deceive anybody by what we say. Maybe if you were like a newer agent who had no clue what you were doing and just talking BS, right? But I mean, just trust yourself, right? That's the biggest thing at the end of the day. I mean, Adam doesn't trust me when I have stuff for him.
Well, there's some moments. There's some moments that I've been in that I'm like, I don't know about this. This is
The
a little.
lipstick. He was
Well, that I don't mind, but there's some things where I'm like, I'm gonna change this word here.
Yeah.
I'm not, But I mean, it being on a team like you guys are, not in the team sense, but in the partner sense. There's some great advantages to that too, and I think that if you can balance the social time and with the work time, and also respect each other's opinions enough to use it, and sometimes not. It's the best of both worlds, but I think it takes some work that you need to really. And there's obviously some moments that can, go sideways, and so it's I think the foundation of your relationship has to be strong enough to go through that. So
yeah, and I think everything that we see of them, it looks like a really strong foundation.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So,
it does. It does.
We're all humans.
Yeah,
We all humans. There's
yeah.
been lots of challenges along the way
sure.
as well, but like I think you just have to find somebody that you're willing to work on things with.
Yeah.
And you've seen it from your family. I mean, it is a good example. They're still together. They're still doing business. They're still active. So you've kind of grown up with it. It's almost a natural extension to where you guys are today. So it's that's a help, I imagine, too.
I guess I am turning into my parents.
Yeah, maybe. Well, we all kind of sometimes do. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining the
you.
Subject Free podcast.
That flew by, eh?
Yeah,
That
that
did,
was
man.
great.
Yeah. Thanks,
Awesome.
guys.
Hey, thanks for coming on, and we'll have you guys back.
Yeah, we'll have you back
love to.
for an update
Awesome.
if you join, especially if you form a team.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. The
And if
future,
you don't, I will.
Yeah.
You know what, Alan? You can have them.
Yeah.
I can't compete with you.
No. And
All right.
thank you to Snapview
Yeah,
as well,
Snapview
too.
and Legacy.
And
Thank
Legacy.
you.
Thank you,
Woo!
guys. Yay.
Hey.
Thanks for listening to the Subject Free Podcast. Make sure you subscribe, follow, rate, and review. Until next episode, we hope you're going in subject free.